Hello, everyone. My name is Jamie Perez, and I'll be presenting you my self reflection for week 7 for the capstone. Just a general background in regards to my education and work. I've pretty much done all my studies online. Um, Both of my degrees are actually at Post University, where I did accounting for my bachelor's and finance for the MBA. My work has been all in the casino at Fox Resort Casino, to be exact. I've been there for 7 years as a buster slash server, and then I transitioned over into the Caribou Hospitality Group, which is also known as one of their companies is known as David Berg Prime Steakhouse, which is where I was working at. I spent about 4 years there as financial administrator slash sommelier, where that's where I actually utilize a lot of my MBA stuff, where I help them create a smaller variance in regards to revenue and cost for their $12 million wine department, which is actually really cool. They hold about $500,000 in inventory and about 9,000 different bottles within a wine tower, which is really cool. I should have actually put it on this video. So after the 4 years there, I actually transitioned back into Foxwoods, but on the government part. I oversee all the all the departments for the tribal community. We oversee police, the fire department, education, utilities, tribal health services, and a few other ones actually. So, but yeah, it's a big difference in regards to working for a revenue company, one that's revenue based sales, uh, where this one mainly focuses on the people itself, which I think is really really cool. Different look. Why get an MBA? At first, I didn't see myself actually getting the master's degree. I wanted to just get the bachelor's at first and then maybe transition a couple years later. But I got a hard lesson from life that if you don't have an internship, that it's really hard to get a job, especially if you don't have the experience or you're not working inside the field already. Luckily, I was able to gain somewhat of an experience at CHG, but it just kind of was really hard in regards to applying for other places and so forth. I did catch a break with Foxwoods. I actually got a position as internal auditor, but that lasted very short considering the fact that they decided to restructure as soon as I got hired and they decided to outsource, which kind of left me in limbo. I want to say 2 months later, I got into the financial analyst position. So I can thank the MBA for the competitive advantage that made it a lot easier for me to get hired quicker and so forth without the internship. Yeah. The learning differences between the bachelor's and the MBA. First and foremost, I want to say that the bachelor's was a lot harder. It was more understanding the tedious little things, from breaking down the financial statements to learning statistics and gap and just auditing and all that. It was extremely hard considering the fact that I never really done an online program like this and I didn't realize how much time consuming it could be. As the time went on, as once the second year kicked in, I did get a better grasp of it. So I don't want to say it was like easier, but it definitely went a lot smoother considering I knew what to expect. Excuse me. For the MBA, it was more looking at it from like a manager perspective. It was thinking outside the box and a lot of critical thinking. I remember working at CHG and implementing all my learnings, which are basically the biggest takeaways that I listed here actually. Before I mention all those, I do want to say that the leadership part was part of the biggest learnings at the school, where being aligned with other leaders and groups and stuff, it was, I don't want to say it was, I don't want to put it in a negative perspective working with other leaders, but it was definitely a learning experience where you have people with similar traits doing similar things as you and sometimes one has to back off, and let the other one lead and so forth. And I thought that was a really nice experience where you see a lot of that in regards to working in higher management and stuff, as I do now. For the rest of the things, from risk management to project planning, that I use a lot at CSG to help them save a lot of money. Like I said, I did a lot of auditing stuff for them. I created a project charter which aligned operational duties so that they can have order. They can have order. I did the risk management stuff so they can see what was going wrong and how to fix it, litigate, mitigating remedies and so forth. Um, so yeah, that was one of the biggest pieces that I can definitely say I took away from the program. The portfolio diversification, I can thank Dr. Wade for that. I really was happy to see the different kind of investments that one should have. I did have a couple of them, but I always wanted to look into real estate and actually owning physical assets. I could definitely say that I have a better understanding in regards to that, and I do plan on focusing a lot more once I graduate on those two things, well, those five, excuse me. Uh, the last thing that I want to mention in regards to the takeaways is the big data industry. Uh, I can definitely say that it has created a need for me to want to learn more in regards to that. Um, the Excel stuff was really cool in regards to learning how to do pivot tables and the business analysis course. I used that a lot in regards to the CG again, but the ACL stuff was one of my favorites, which was actually scripting, syntax, kind of like Python coding and stuff. Um, that was the coolest thing where I can actually automate stuff, and I definitely see myself going more into that, especially through Data Camp, which is another online program where you can learn how to do stuff like that. I can thank, like I said, the MBA program for giving me that taste, and now I get to pursue it once the program is over. The growth, the biggest one, the greater financial understanding in regards to just the business world itself and for the personal. Like I want to say that the accounting stuff gave me a better understanding in regards to the business standpoint. I want to say that excuse me, the finance courses within the MBA were more focused on personal finance rather than the business. Um, so business classes that were provided as mandatory for the business administration did focus a little bit on you know the entity, whereas I can say that the finance courses within concentration were more for personal use, and I really appreciated that because I always felt like the courses did allow you to, well, just the general courses in post were more for working, whereas the concentration ones were more about investing in personal use, which was pretty cool. I did mention the big data stuff. Most of my papers were on that, and that's what I mean is that the big data stuff is just all we talked about, and it just like lit up a fire in me. Now, I actually want to kind of focus on like quantitative analysis and so forth, and like I said, I definitely see myself focusing on that in the future. It changed my dream and my career. The program. I I originally saw myself working as a finance analyst within the YM program, but after dealing with big data and taking this new financial position within government, I can definitely say that I see myself working with big data, quantitative analysis, and I'm ready to see what this transition happens to me in the future. So, yeah. If I had to pick one word to describe my MBA experience, I would definitely say grateful. Just the path that I've created, is amazing. I do want to say I lost a lot of friends because of my school. Hanging out with people. A lot of them didn't understand the route I was taking, the time that I gave up in order to study rather than hang out. Excuse me. Um, but it also aligned me with different people. Um, the people from work, I absolutely am so grateful to have. Working alongside my capstone team. From meeting Michelle, Derek, Ileana to having conversations with Leo and actually seeing him at the graduation. I'm extremely grateful and happy to have met these people and to meet people that were similar to me in regards to our path in life. Reason I mentioned health was because I actually got sick a few times while I've been learning. One of them was laughing at it now. I blew out my Achilles tendon when I was going for my accounting degree, and that kind of messed me up while I was doing that. And then another one was like a chronic hives thing that I got for like a month straight, which was crazy. Luckily, I was able to study while being overdosed in allergy pills, so that's what that's about. In regards to the opportunities, I can say that I was handed, I don't want to say handed, but I was given the opportunity to grow in regards to the new positions that I have from, the finance stuff, finance administrator stuff, I mean, to becoming an internal auditor to now to financial analyst. I didn't see it happening, and now it's just a big wow. Like I never thought I'd actually be here, and here I am. So I could definitely say that the path has been uh, very, I don't even know. Like the path has just been amazing. The feeling is overwhelming. It's to be able to, when I was standing up there when I received my degree when I walked last month, the feeling was priceless. It was overwhelming to know that I'm like finally here I am. So that was crazy. Challenges. I think I went over this for the most part already. So yeah, the thinking outside, thinking a certain way was thinking outside the box. Looking at things, how to innovate, how to create, how to fix things that might have looked like it wasn't necessarily needed of fixing. Working with other leaders such as my group. Leo, Michelle, Liana, Derek. We all had this leader mindset, and to be able to work with one another was one of the coolest things I've ever done. Um, the communication with my team was one of the challenges that we've had. For the most part, it was actually very easy to deal with them. It was just time consuming. Like I remember I was putting in 3 hours each day to get the stuff done, to dealing with just life. Like some of us had this thing going on, one of us that thing. So we always try adjust to make sure that we all were able to attend meetings and so forth. Um, so yeah, for the most part, time zones were okay. I can say that that was more of an issue in regards to different courses that I had. The cultural differences, I don't want to say it was really necessarily a challenge, but it was nice to pick on those things and see it from a different perspective per se. Um, the last thing that I can say was the senior burnout. I know a lot of you have felt that at the end. When we're almost there, and it just getting tired, just want to give up, but we somehow push through, and that's one thing that I can definitely attest to. Um, Last words, I definitely want to say good luck to the future students. Um, if there's anything that I would recommend you doing is start Sunday when you start seeing those classes up and ready to oversee. I used to start Monday, but knowing that there's an extra day to overlook everything, I highly, highly suggest to start Sunday and try to get all that reading done Sunday so you can post on Monday. That is the biggest thing I would mention. To my capstone teammates, it was an absolute pleasure working with all of you. I hope we stay in contact in the future, and I hope we decide to do lunch one day. So yeah. To post, thank you so much for creating this path for me, this opportunity, and I'm just extremely grateful to be able to learn in such an amazing school. Um, Thank you for everything. So yeah, that's my PowerPoint presentation. Thank you for watching, and that's it.